Okay. So we're on the Beis Amud Aleph, the second line. It's coming as a continuation of the sugi of the previous sugi. The sugi spoke about a Russia Orum. Our Mishnah said that those that are mevalei olam, which seem to be the word mevalei means to wear out, that they ruin the world, mevalei olam. And the reason why the Mishnah brought it is because one of them is going to be Isha Prusha, a woman who shows herself to be extra sitkanis on the outside. Sometimes that's not good. It's suspicious if she's too religious on the outside. People are supposed to be not outstanding, not conspicuous. But Agab, it also spoke about a Rasha Orum, a cunning, wicked man, that he does his wickedness in cunning, in secrecy. That's considered cunning Russia. He's a Russia, he's evil, but he's cunning. He's a room. So there was a list yesterday. We had a list of 7 different examples. I don't think they're arguing; they're all giving different examples of how a person could be a cunning Russia. The last one was the top of the page. Ula said that he's that he learned Mikra and Mishnah, but he didn't learn how to analyze the sugyas, and therefore he's not a Talmud Chacham enough to be able to paskin. But people are very impressed with him. So it seems that his issue is, if he would say openly that he doesn't know his Mishnah, he doesn't know anything more than that, so then it wouldn't be a problem. Not everybody can know Gemara. But if he makes himself as if he's a Talmud Chacham and he knows a lot, then he gets the credit due to a Talmud Chacham, and he's not. That's the example of a Rasha Oram. And now because of that, the Gemara goes on more about this Torah Vashana, that it says now that he's an Amoritz. So here goes the Sugya, Ithma, second line, Torah Vashana, it's going to be a whole list of things. What is he considered? Let's try to get some of these highlighted. The different titles he's going to get. Someone who's a Korah V'Shana V'Lo Shimish Shemid Chachamim. Some say that he's Amoritz. That's the level called an Amoritz. Rashi makes it in the level of Amoritz means that sometimes there are halachic implications of someone who's an Amoritz. Rashi talks about sometimes you can't be trusted Chumas HaMaisrus, or you can't trust that he's doing things that are Tohar. Maybe he's making things Tameh. You may also learn the Gemara, if you learn different in Rashi, that it means to say that he didn't get out of the label of being an Amoritz. How much do you have to know to not to be an Amoritz? So even though he learned Mikra Mishnah, he's not yet an Amoritz. He's still let out of being an Amoritz. He has to also learn Gemara in order to become what's considered a Talmud Chacham. But Rashi learns that it's more halachic implications that you can't trust his Chumas HaMaisrus, you can't trust his Tahara. But Shmuel Bar Yochai is a bore. Bore is like you say in English, a bore. B-O-O-R. Bore. That is even less than Amoritz. That's considered even more ignorant. Abiyana Yomar raised a kusi. So a kusi means people that did not listen to Torah Sheba'al Peh. They didn't listen to the oral law, just to the written law, and they made up their own oral law because you can't learn the Torah without any kind of explanation. And Rashi says that it has halachic implications that you're not allowed to have his wine and bread. But without Rashi, you can learn that it means he has the level of a kusi, because this is my Chabrusa said of Pshat, because what did the kusim do? They didn't take Torah Sheba'al Peh. Even if somebody knows Mishnayos, so officially he listens to the Rabbana, but he doesn't know what they're really saying. So it's also kind of a kusi, because they don't really get the Torah, they don't really know the oral law. Magosh is a machashe, a sorcerer.
Magosh?
Magosh.
Oh.
And you find that another place that Mon Shabbos talks about a Magushi, Amgushi. So he says that he's like a machashe, he's like a sorcerer. He likes to list pshat of Rav Nachman Yaakov that he's like a sorcerer. The saying goes, that a sorcerer, he says some kind of a what's the word that they use when he has a incantation or something like incantation, and he doesn't know what it means. He doesn't know that it works. So the Tana also, the person who only knows the Mishnah, he doesn't know what it means. He doesn't know how to analyze it. Also, he says the formula, but he doesn't really know what the depth of it is. So those are four titles or labels for somebody who's called Rishana B'Loshim Mishtem B'Chachamim. Not to forget Agamar. Agamar is really going that he's a Rasha Orum. Besides these 4 labels, Amoretz, Bor, Kusi, and Magosh, our Mishnah said is a Rasha Orum, and the Gemara said that he's considered a Rasha Orum. Again, Rashi's going to say because he's trying to fake people, he wants to impress people as if he's a Talmud Chacham, and really is not.
But why is he a Rasha? If that's the only thing he's doing wrong, why is he a Rasha? To trick people, to show more than you are. That's like Maybe he's doing other things also.
It could be. Actually, a few times in the sugi, he said that he wants people shouldn't investigate after him, so he puts on this cover, this facade that he's that way they won't look deeper into his actions. That Rashi says like you a few times that he's doing it in order to be able to cover up, in order to be able to do more wishes. Not that that's the only wishes that he's making himself. He's saying
You were
that
saying the opposite, though.
No, I'm saying if let's say you prepare a class higher than your level. You're speaking about Shevrach, so so
you
it's
think
not
somebody
so
else.
honest, but it's not the end of the world.
Is he called in Russia because of that? Because he wanted to cover.
Well, he's doing it to.
Just to impress
depends on
people.
depends on why he's doing it. If he's doing it to see some with us in color, wouldn't that be okay?
But then you have to show off how much you know. You just give a nice, then you just have to give a nice speech. You have to show off how you.
Then he could say the same that he got it from.
He's showing off. You said he's giving a drush.
But he gave
His level.
If the level's level means he got it from someplace, then he doesn't say that he got it from that sefer.
Oh,
He says it in his own, something like that. So then he's taking the credit for himself. So I'm saying that even if he does that, maybe it's not the Russia, or maybe someone called the Russia only if he's has some other purpose in covering up, that he wants to do other evils. Okay, up for discussion. Continuing the subject about the Korban Shana V'Lo Shimish Tamid Chachamim, but the way it comes in is Ezamor. Let's start the other way. Before we said that before we started Korban Shana V'Lo Shimish Tamid Chachamim on the second line, what kind of person is he? Amoretz, Bor, Kusi, Magosh. Now we're going the other way. We start off Ezamor. It's going out the same way. Someone's going to say at the end that he's going to be a Korban Shana V'Lo Shimish Tamid Chachamim. That's going to be. That's what we're getting. That's what we're getting to. But we start off Ezamor. So again, Ezamor is not the halachic question. Sometimes there's halachic implications. If someone's in Amoritz, like Rashi says, you don't trust his Trumas and Meisus, you don't trust his Tara, or it might say who's an Amoritz. He didn't get rid of the label of an Amoritz. He can't call himself that he's out of that ignorant bracket. So a few opinions here. There's going to be. That's also maybe also. This is called Ezer Amoritz. This is a title of Ezer Amoritz. It's also it's in the subject because we started off with Russia Orum, and one shot of Russia Orum came to be Korban Lashon of Shemish Tamid Chachamim, and then we mentioned that some hold that he's called an Amoritz. We really wanted the issue about Russia Orum, but the Gemara brought down Amoritz. Other titles for him also. So now Ezer Amoritz. Here are going to be different opinions over here. Kol she'ena kriyashma, kol she'ena kori kriyashma, kriyashma shachas b'chosel, that he doesn't say kriyashma every day. In our Gemara it says with the brachas. The brachas means the bracha before Yotzam Oros, Avarabba, Kol Yisrael. He doesn't say in our verse. He doesn't say Shamam Yisrael. He doesn't say the brachas before and after with Kriya Shema. So what does he do? He doesn't daven. That's the point. He doesn't daven. He doesn't wear tefillin. Doesn't mean he doesn't wear tefillin at all. He doesn't wear tefillin as much as he's supposed to. But not Zom Kol She'en Lo Tzitzis V'Vigdal.
Why are we saying? I mean, any mitzvah. Why dafka these mitzvahs?
So it could be that it's not mamash and avera. It could be. That's not mamash and avera.
But tefillin and
Tefillin, it's tzitzis. He's not wearing abakanfas. If he's wearing abakanfas without tzitzis, then it's not very well. So you're saying that he's not wearing. It's not clear. The person has to say Kriya Shema, so then he's not. That's mamash. He's not doing a mitzvah.
no, but why dafka these mitzvahs? It could be any mitzvah.
So you could say that the Kriya Shema, the briefest Kriya Shema, haven't been canonized.
I know what it means.
It means that they haven't been accepted they have been accepted by the rabbinic sources of the days, but they haven't yet. The Rav Am didn't.
He's saying it depends on the time and place. Nowadays everyone does it, but in those days
it's it's all you can't find a sin without the nusach. So
you're going to say that now all these things with tefillin and tzitzis all depends on the time and place. That this is some places this is considered mamish standard. If you don't do this, so it's mamish and avera. I don't know. The question was what's special about these particular things. If it's an avera, it's mamish and avera. What?
It's not every day.
It doesn't say it says you will do it, and then when will you do it? How much will you do it? All day or after, one day or once a day. Once a day you may be like feel like a Rambam.
Like Chavrusa suggested that all these things, a suggestion that all these things is not mitzvah avera shabo. It could be an avera, but the point is not that he's doing a particular avera. The point is that his head is in the wrong place. His direction in life is not anchored in what he's supposed to be doing. It means if his person, people, sisters you wear the whole day, tefillin you're supposed to wear the whole day, whatever it is. Not the question if you're doing the mitzvah of wearing tefillin, but let's say everybody would wear tefillin, and he doesn't wear tefillin. It's like a person who doesn't. He's not with it. He's not on the right channel. he's not then going to the right, he doesn't have the right goal in life.
Ellie gave me a nice example. He says someone doesn't wear yarmulke, no
No
avail,
Avera.
but you want to take him for your daughter, even though he does everything right.
Because it doesn't have to do with Avera, it has to do with what it signifies. So it could be that's the same idea as over here. These things happen to me, it might be Averas, might yes be not, might not be.
Kriyishma signifies so much. It's 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at
No,
night.
so it signifies. If a person doesn't say it, so it signifies. Adarabah, but the yarmulke is a, not going Kriyishma with the yarmulke. But the point is that the Kriyishma is that he's supposed to use a declaration that I'm Neman to Hashem, and he doesn't do that declaration. So even if it's not mitzvah Avera, it is Avera, it's not Avera, it's not the point. The other Averas that he does, it could be Muz Muktzah. That's not the point. The point is that his head is not anchored. A suggestion. Anyway, what do we have? The first one says he doesn't say Kriyash Shachos Varvus with the brachas even. The Chum say he doesn't wear tefillin. Rav Nasser says he doesn't wear tzitzis.
Doesn't put citrus on his bacon.
Or that means he has a bag. He has a bag of Dabra conference and he doesn't.
You know,
Put
it's-
No, but that's,
not that he doesn't have a bag of Dabra.
that's a Mefurish Avera.
No,
It
it's
could be,
not.
it could be, it could be. But the person who puts on tzitzis, the point is not the Avera maybe, but that mitzvah Hashem. This is your emblem that you're Eved Hashem. It's like somebody going without his uniform. Going out the uniform, like that the yarmulke. If someone's going without the tzitzis, means he's not saying that I'm Eved to Hashem. Like he used to have the Kabbalah Avda. The Gemara talks about Chosam Shel. The Gemara talks about tzitzis. That's like a Chosam. It's like an insignia that he's Eved Hashem. Everyone's open. I'm not. That's we do it half a day, but you could probably talk about this Gemara a long time.
Yeah.
And the next one is Kol Sheish Labanim Ve'enu Begadim L'Talmud Torah, L'Lmod Torah. That he has children, but he doesn't raise them to learn Torah. It means is it Mamish and Avera? I don't know. Like I don't know what Talmud Torah means. That he doesn't teach them Mikra even. He doesn't direct them in the path of learning Torah.
Doesn't send the cheder.
He doesn't send them to Cheder even. Go to the field. I need help in the field, and he helps them, and he doesn't send them to Talmud Torah. So this is what he came in for. That's what we want. We wanted the last opinion. That's how it comes into the sugya over here, because we're talking about this sugya of Parvashana Veloshim Shamid Chachamim. Even Mikra and Mishnah, but he doesn't learn how to analyze the Mishnahs. So that's still considered an Amoritz. He goes further. He says more than we asked for, and he goes on and says, Kara Veloshana. But he didn't even learn Mishnahs. This first person that's called an Amoritz is that he learned Mikra and Mishnah, but not how to analyze. But how about he didn't even learn Mishnayos. He's a bore. That's even worse. He's even less than Amos. He's a bore. B-O-O-R. Lo Karvaloshan, not even Mikra, then the worst. All of a custom Omer Vazavati is based Israel versus base Yehuda, Zera Adam, Zera Behema. I'm going to plant Am Yisrael, Zera Adam and Zera Behema, which means a lot of men, and a lot of animals. The first time means I have a lot of animals. The Gemara is saying that he's the level of an animal. A person that doesn't learn at all, not even Mikra, doesn't even know Psukim, so then he's like an animal. So we have Amoritz, bore, and animal. A person who's no Gemara, so then he's Amoritz. No Mishnah, then he's a bore. No Mikra, then Behema. The Gemara continues. You can take out the 2 dots if you like, because the Hara doesn't belong here. The 2 dots. It's continuation over here. And also, you can put it even the beginning of the pasuk is not our interest so much. It says in the pasuk, "Yiras Hashem b'niv melech, comma v'im shonim al tisarav." The beginning also, if you want, you don't have to have it right now. It's not our subject so much. My son, fear Hashem and the king. But the part that we want is the end of the pasuk that it says, "V'im shonim al tisarav." Don't mingle with shonim. Don't mingle with shonim. The pasuk means people that are different. People that are different. And you have to find out what does different mean. But don't mingle with people that are different. The model is different. Shonim means people that repeat or learn. They put the word shonim to teach. Also, you have the word could be to repeat, like shnayim. The more is going to talk about the drash. On the pshat level, I think that's not our subject. Our subject is to know this pasuk on a drash level. The people that they just learn halachos, which means like the Mishnah is just. Another extension of the sugya, but they don't know the reasons that you just learn the Piskei Halachos, let's say, but they don't know what's behind it, and you can't understand them. So that's called them. Don't be like them. Don't mingle with those kind of people. The people
that just know the halach.
Right. Halacha in our sense is Mishnah. It's like the Mishnah. The Mishnah is what we call the Mishnah. Rashi will say halachos means Mishnah over here, and that's really the same point. Shelo Yeah, that's how Rashi learns. Shonin halacha shaloshim shetamid chachamim lo bakpid al tami mishnayis. Halachos Rashi says mishnayis. Here's the Rashi over here.
Yes.
Halachos mishnayis.
Mhm.
So again, it's a continuation of the sugya. That there's some mishnayis without analyzing it. So that's the people that don't mingle with them. They're not good enough. You have to get people that understand the learning. The more says Pshita. Pshita doesn't mean, I think, that Pshita that's found the pasuk is not found the pasuk, but Pshita that's the drash. Rashi seems to say that that's for shorter way to dash from the pasuk. Ma'adatema shonin b'chet. You might think that shonin, the pasuk of shonin means that they repeat. What do they repeat? They repeat sins. People that repeatedly do sins don't mingle with sinners, and that would be a nice drash. But the Gemara says no. Even more than that, don't even mingle with Mishnayos learners if they're not Gemara learners. Of course, it doesn't mean that you have to hate them. You're supposed to love all Israel, but it means don't learn from them. Stay away in a way that you should mingle with the people that are more learned.
Because they're going to repeat sins. Is that what you said?
No, in this case, yeah, the Gemara says it might have thought that no, not because they're the people that do sins again and again. Don't stay with people that repeatedly sin. Hate. You might think that the word shonim is referring to those people that repeatedly sin.
You might think that. But it's
And
we're not
Kamashma is
gonna
even
think
more
so.
than that. It's even people that learn Mishnayos also don't mingle with them. Rafuna says that the word shonim has something to do, Shnayim has something to do with sinners. That somebody that didn't have Avera and he did it again, he seems to him that it's mutter. It means once you did it again, you did it one time, so then, but if you did it two times, then you get used to it and you don't see how severe it is. You become numb to the severity of the mitzvah. So Kamash Malan, that it means even more than that. It means even people that are learning Mishnah is also Al Tisarav. You show them Al Tisarav, don't stay with people that just learn Mishnah and they don't try to understand the reasons of the Mishnah. Next Gemara. Tana, we learned in the Brisa. Atanoim mevalei olam. The ones who just learn Mishnah are those that are ruining the world. Atanoim mevalei olam. Those who learn Mishnah destroy the world. Mevalei olam salkadak, they destroy the world. Rashi says they don't do any damage to anybody. Maybe they're not doing good, but they don't do good enough, but they're not damaging anybody. Ravina, Shemor halacha mitoch Mishnah. Of course, if they learn Mishnah is very good. But if they learn Mishnah and they think they're big posik already, and because they don't know Mishnah, they're going to actually act upon it and tell people what to do, so then they're destructive. Tani Namiyachi, just put that as an explanation. The explanation is over here. Morin halacha mitoch Mishnah. That's the explanation of Mavalei Olam. That's when it's not good to learn Mishnah, if you think that you know everything already. Tani Namiyachi, we learned in a Brisa that that's the pshat. People learn Mishnah are destroying the world. On the contrary, they're the ones who are settling the world, civilizing the world, populating the world. Everyone knows this drash. We say in davening. The first pshat is halichos olam lo, but the drash is halichos kama olam lo. A person who learns halachos, he's going to get olam haba. Olam lo, and the Gemara considers it miyashvi olam, maybe not olam haba. Even the world, the civilized world, the populated, settled world is attributed to him, so it's a good thing. Of course, if you learn Mishnah is good, but if you think that you're a posek already and you're going to paskin from the Mishnah, that's the problem. Okay, so that was all about Rasha Oram. We learned so far Chassid Shota and Rasha Oram. For Chassid Shota, we had one example: the person who doesn't save the woman who's drowning, and he thinks that it's a Chassidus. And the Rasha Oram, we had 7 examples. I don't think all the 7 examples are arguing, but they're all cases where he was cunning in a way that he doesn't show his evil, and he covers it up. And after we got into the last one, which was that besides being a Rosh Oram, he might be also an Amoritz and a Mogosh, that things that more attributes to him, if he does learn Mishnah, and all these cases, Rashi says that he's showing as if he knows more than he really does. But if he tells people what level he is and he's not more than that, then doesn't seem to be the problem. The Mishnah continued about Isha Prusha. And it said that's one of the Mavalei Olam, the ascetic woman, that she's too Polish. That's not good.
That category of Mavalei Olam, all these
There were four in the Mishnah. They said about Chassid Shota, Rasha Oram, Isha Prusha, and Malkas Prusha, which we didn't get to. Isha Prusha. Tana Rabbanan. Besula Salyanis, Valmana Shabavis, the Kotman Shalokabalo Hadasha, Pare'elu Mavalei Olam, a Brisa. The Brisa says, Besula Salyanis, which means a girl, was a big davener. There's a different gears in the Gemara that's with a mem instead of a lam, it's samyanis, that she's always fasting. Again, it means that she's conspicuously frum. It's good to be frum. It's not good to be conspicuously frum. And Almana Shovavis. Rashi learns the word Shovavis means she's always ringing around in the neighborhood. That's Rashi from the notion of Aramaic. In Aramaic,
You say show, show.
shovav. So the word shovav, Rashi doesn't know that. Rashi learns shovav means lashon of neighbor. Neighbor, always draying around the neighborhood. We're going to see soon the Gemara uses the word as a Shiva Hussein. Shiva Hussein means in the neighborhood. The Rashi learns Shabbat means that she's always draying around. There's other pshatim that they learned lashon of Shabbat, like we say in the pasuk Vayelach Shabbat b'derech libo, like we call like a child who's Shabbat. That means that he's wayward.
Yeah.
And it could be here also that someone like that, they bring down the Aruch says like that, that it means this almana, why it's called an almana, these explanation why she's an almana, there's something that they're going to be. There's something suspicious because of their way they act. So we'll see the Gemara's example. I don't know why. What do you see in the word almana shovavis? That for some reason there's a psula salyanis and almana shovavis. I don't get the first one. I get that she a girl that acts too from something suspicious, and almana also that acts too from is also suspicious. Maybe if they have a husband, so then the husband will take care of them, and they're not to be so suspected because the husband or the father. No, I guess the husband, but the Psul and the Almana are not married. So then there's more suspicion about them if they act too out of ordinary. But
what does it mean to be in the neighborhood?
To be in the neighborhood. So Rashi doesn't explain too much. She's always going around. Let's see the Rashi.
Like sitting in the Rachaba?
No, she always goes to visit neighbors. She's always visiting. I can understand. Yes, where's the Rashi? Constantly visiting people.
She's a Baal Shchenos.
Like Shechina, right? Shechin.
Yeah.
He goes to visit her neighbors always. So of course it's a good thing in visiting neighbors, but probably it's too much. And I guess that it's too much for comfort. What would you say? That she's too much mingling with other people. So okay, that's the pshat.
And that makes
she doesn't show herself like she doesn't show herself like she's not a tzaddikus or anything. She's just chashud that she's too regular by other people's houses. Maybe that's what Rashi means. The third one is also a katan shelo kalu chadasha, which of course has to be explained. A katan shelo kalu chadasha literally means a premature baby. That's what it means, l'chara. But that
didn't finish off his months.
He didn't finish. He's premature. So that has to be explained. The Gemara is going to say that, of course, it doesn't mean literally. It's going to mean a mashal for something. So these three are mevalei olam. Harei elu mevalei olam. A girl who's a big davener, a woman who's too neighborly, and a premature baby, premature katan. And the Gemara is a kasha, Amy. And who's the kasha going to be on? One of these three. We find, I learned. Spear of sin from a basula. He's going to tell you two stories, one about a basula, one about an almana, and that how much important it is to try to get reward from an almana. What's the two stories? First story, basula. What was the case? Rav Yochanan Shamalah basula the nafla apa the kamra ribonu shalom berasa ganeden berasa gehenim berasa tzadikim berasa b'shan yivatzamlu fanecha shelo yikash li bnei adam. Rav Yochanan heard a basula, a virgin, a young girl, that she fell on her face. I mean, that's how, like Tachanan, she davened to Hashem. She supplicated to Hashem. She said to Hashem, you made Gan Eden, you made Gehenim, you made Tzadikim, you made Rishon. Of course, that is a free choice. The Gan Eden Gehenim is Hashem made, but then he made the free choice. You could be a Tzadik, you could be a Rasha. Yivatzon may be the will before you that people should not stumble on me. She's probably beautiful, and she wants the people should not be nichshel in her and get Gan Eden Gehenim because of her. So she davened Hashem, save people from being nichshel because of me. And that's called that is Yiras faith. He learned Yiras faith from the basula. Is that a kasha and a basula salyanis? That doesn't say how much he davened. Maybe nafla apa means that she did it conspicuously. I'm not sure. The Gemara's not going to ask the kasha. Maybe the kasha is only from the almana. Another story coming up. I'm trying to figure out what the kasha is. The next case is also kibul schar almana. I learned the value of trying to get reward from a widow. What was the case? It was a widow who had a shul in her neighborhood. Every day she came to daven in the shul in the Beis of Rav Yochanan that was in a different neighborhood. She walked extra in order to go to the shul of Rav Yochanan. Rav Yochanan asked her, my daughter, is there not a shul in your neighborhood? Do I not get reward for the extra walking? So I don't understand, first of all, the story. I'm supposed to go to a further shul just because it's further? The schar p'siyas means when you have to put an effort in order to get to a certain goal, and the shul happens to be further, but you're going to go dafka to the further shul in order to get reward. So what is she saying?
Was that the end?
That's the end of the story. That's the end of
He didn't answer her?
No, he said, I learned from her. He says, I learned from her schar How do we say? How do we say? The schar, 1 second. I learned from these two, I learned from this girl, I learned from this almana.
But here it's saying Almona, it means an Almona.
Yeah.
We said before it didn't mean
It also meant an almana.
lady that is what,
No, so why call that? No, it says before almana. Almana shemaris. Yeah, so what? So I think if she has a husband, the husband is watching over her. But if she's an almana and she's too much by other people, that's suspicious. But now, so what's the kasha that you find that?
Maybe she wanted them by him.
Yes. Oh, so why didn't you say so?
Yeah, why didn't she say so? Okay.
So
the exclusive davening in his shul.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah. So why not say that? She didn't. She meant that. She
I don't know.
just speaks about the extra reward of a walking. I don't see the value. I don't understand that there should be value of walking further. If there's the same thing, you can get earlier. You can get closer just to get like no one asks you to walk. You can ask for schar for walking extra. Who told you to walk? You walk around the corner. You can go to the left. You go to the right in order to go around the block in order to get schar. Yes, I don't see the.
Nobody says it's because she wanted to be in his minion.
My Chavrusa said so. So I just asked. So why doesn't it say that? Well, she should have said, I want to come to the Rebbe's. I want to be there by the Rebbe's shul. The Rebbe's shul is much better shul
Yeah.
than the other shul.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that. So I don't know. Maybe that's what she meant to say. I have a pasuk written down that I just had in my Gemara. That's the reference. I'm not sure if this is a good. It says in the pasuk Malachim Beis. It talks about Avodah Zarah over there. Malachim Beis, Yud Beis, Tav Tes. Is that true? No. Malachim Aleph.
Malachim Aleph.
Yud Beis.
You have a pasuk?
I have a pasuk. Malachim Yud Beis pasuk Tav Tes. So they're talking about Avodah Zarah. It says Avodah Zarah of the 2 golden calves that Yerubbim and Nebat made. And over there it says,
He put it in Shevet Tan.
one in Beisel and one in Dan.
One in
Beisel.
Beisel,
one in
one
Dan.
in Dan. Yeah.
Vayasem v'sachad b'Beisel v'sachad b'Nasan b'Dan. Vayhi hadavar hazel lechatos. Vayelchu ha'am lefnei ha'echad ad Dan. This was a sin. Became the sin, and the people went before the one that wasn't done. What does that mean? They went to the
What's
further.
further away?
They went to the Adan is all the way in the north. Beisel is in the center of Eretz Yisrael, and that's the south of the 10 tribes. Beisel and Dan was in the north, and they said they went to Dan. Does it mean that they wanted to go to the further one? I don't know. I just put this as a reference to Gemara. That is there such thing as Charpsius? You go there, people want to show they want to go to the further one.
No, in that case, they should get more
Punishment. Fine.
punishment.
Yeah, but the point was that if you love something, I just made the comparison with these 2 Gemaras. I don't understand either. But here it says that she wants Charpsius going for the further shul, if that's what the words of the Gemara say, unless you're right, that it means because she wanted to go to Rabbi Yochanan shul. And over there also says,
every Friday night from Bayit Pagan, he go, okay, so he takes.
because there's only one kosel.
Right.
Okay.
But then he walks back to
But
Bayit.
But let's say
Yeah,
there'd be
that's-
2 kosels.
Let's say you have a kosel right
That's
next
not the further one.
I say Bayit Pagan, now here sometimes in the rain.
Okay, but it's going. I get what he's doing. But here, if the 2 shuls were equal, so why did? So I understand my problem. Like Yaakov was suggesting that it was a better shul because Rabbi Yochanan was there, and that's what she meant to say. But anyway, Rabbi Yochanan,
So this guy that goes to the coastal, he gets scarred.
yeah,
Scar-
because his shul is not there. He's go to the person. So here, I'm not saying that everyone should do it. It could be that they have to judge what's better mitzvah. So maybe you should learn an extra hour. I don't know. I'm not saying, but
She didn't have that.
she didn't have
She
one.
didn't have the issue that she has to learn. In
Right,
she
right.
should be learning in
So she went to the
So we're
to the
supposed
better
to-
shul,
well,
the better
she's getting
shul,
it.
or the further. Okay, this is the question: is it mine to go to the further one? If you can get it closer, also leave it as a question.
In any case, these are kashas.
These are my
Kashas on the almanah.
Oh, right. But the Gemara has a kasha. The Gemara says that
It's a kasha because they get reward and
Right.
not that they're destroying the world.
So who's the kasha on the psula, the almana, the psula davin?
The basula.
She davened that Hashem say people shouldn't stumble in me. Is that a kasha before you see that a davener is no good? Before means a conspicuous davener. You're going to find the girl that davens say she's not good. Of course, it's a good thing. Maybe because she did it conspicuously, she fell on her face. Maybe that was too conspicuous, but the Gemara's not going to answer the kasha then. I'm not sure. And the second kasha that it says almana that raised around in the neighborhood is no good. And you see here, she's running around. She goes to she had a good reason. She went to Rabbi Yochanan shul. I don't know what the Gemara's kasha is. I really don't know what the Gemara's kasha is. And the Gemara answers And the answer is very short.
Amra, are we?
Ki Ka'amar.
Ki Kamar.
When did the Mishnah mean to say that
these
it's
were-
not good?
Yeah,
The Brisa, when did the Brisa say that it's called Mavali Yolam?
yeah.
On the Yochni Basri TV, period.
Tigon,
Yochni, Basri TV.
Oh, this person.
This woman. Yochni Basri
this woman-
TV, she's the evil woman.
She's the one.
She's the, and she happens to be an Almana. Now the Gemara doesn't say the story. How are you supposed to know what the story is? Yochni Basri TV, supposed to know Yochni Basri TV story.
Oh, so
So it's a
Rashi
famous
tell
story.
us?
Rashi tells us. Rashi doesn't say where he gets it from. They bring down that Rav Nissim Gaon brings
He
down.
doesn't say.
He doesn't say
said-
where he gets it from. He doesn't say his source. Rashi doesn't say his source.
Yeah.
They bring down that it's in Rav Nissim Gaon brings down the story. And the story Rashi says is the Gemara seemed that everybody knew the story.
Is this in the wide lines or?
This is the wine lines, and it starts over here. Yeah.
Keep
Rashi,
going,
keep
yeah.
going. Rashi says the story was that she was a machshefa. She was a sorceress, and she made herself like a big tzaddikus. And anybody that was going into labor, she would stop the ability to give birth. And then she'd say, and they were in big trouble. The woman is in labor and not giving birth. She would go, I'm going to daven for you. And she went and she undid the sorcery. And then the baby was born, and everyone said she's a big tzaddikus.
She's the one that caused the problem.
She caused the problem. And she did it, and she made it sound as if her davening.
That's a Russia room.
That's a Russia room, and here the Gemara says that she's with Valei Olam. The
Yeah.
Gemara is now but now we're in Yisha Pusha already. We're not in. We're in the next sugya.
Yeah, we're in the next.
The first sugya was
But it's.
Chassid Shota, and then a Russia room, and then a Yisha Pusha. Here's the Yisha Pusha.
Wow.
That she makes herself like she's a big tzaddikus.
What you
The
did.
Russia Aram, I think, is not that he makes himself into a tzaddik, but he makes himself that people shouldn't see his wickedness.
I see.
It is the same. It's the same under the same umbrella.
Yeah, yeah.
Like before, it's called a Russia Aram, and here it's called a.
He should push.
Prisha Pusha, that she's
Prisha
too, that you have to,
She's
you have to
too-
suspect, you have to suspect somebody who's too extreme in her
I'm gonna
righteousness.
daven, it's gonna be okay.
Or I'm gonna daven, and then, and it's always okay.
And it's
I-
always.
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna daven, she's gonna daven, it's always okay. So people get the impression, oh, there's a big tzaddikus, we should bring her clipper and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's, and then they're actually the end of the story, how they found out that she was a faker. In the source, it also says that they killed her afterward. He killed her after they found out. So, yeah, so what does it mean?
That's the din with the machsheva.
What?
That's the din of the machsheva.
That's in Mashkefa, right? That's Mashkefa Lo Sachayim. But the question is,
Technical,
now, preacher,
technical point.
now, what's the point over here about Isha
So this,
Pusha?
in other words, this whole thing, that whole Brisa was talking about a case like that woman.
That the Isha, so the Shabbavis. So in the Shabbavis, the way Rashi explained it, that she's running around in the neighborhood, she's not making herself into a big tzaddikus. Rashi doesn't explain in the words of the Shabbavis that she's making herself extra firm. The Psula Salyanis is in the words that she's a big davener, too much davening. She's davening more than the average girl, too much more. So then you have to be suspicious. Also, if somebody is going to show himself, Mana is going to show herself like she's a big tzaddik, she davens whenever someone has a problem, always she's successful in her
No,
answer.
but this one goes around and sees who's pregnant, and who's going to be giving birth. She's like nosing around and then does her.
Okay, it's not
Some
beside that.
stuff.
It's not beside that she's going around to the neighborhood. It's because they know that she's the big davener. We call her when they
No, she went around to make the problem.
to make it in the first place. Okay, so that's the Isha Pusha. Okay, the next one. Now the next one we're in the middle of the Brisa. The Brisa said a third case, which
We're in
was
the middle of a Brisa.
yeah, because the Brisa had Tanur Rabbanan,
Tanur
Tfulo
Rabbanan.
Salyanis, Amana Shabbavis.
No, but the
Katan
Eni is
Shalom
not
Kol
part of the Brisa.
Right. I'm saying we're in the middle of explaining the Brisa. We didn't finish to explain the Brisa. They had a third case also, which we
I
didn't
see.
discuss yet. Katan Shalom Kol Chadasha. The
My
Mishnah said Isha Pusha, and then it's going to say also Makas Pusha is coming up. But Isha Pusha, we brought down this case about Amana
Yeah,
Shabbavis.
I see what you said. Mhm.
So we have to explain the last one, a premature
Third one,
baby.
the
What's the premature baby? What's the issue? So of course it's a mashal. My katan shalokam l'chadash. What is that referring to? Chachat Hakim was a Talmud Chacham on the Vayid Rabbosa, a Talmud Chacham who kicks his rebbeim. That means that he rebels against those that are bigger than him. He's Talmud Chacham. That's why he's Talmud Chacham. He gives some time with Talmud Chacham, but there are those that are bigger than him, and he kicks them. He doesn't value
Well,
them.
premature, he gives his opinion too soon.
Yeah, it seems that he thinks himself authorized to have an opinion before he does. And
Or
he
speaking
has
from his
Rebbe,
Rebbe.
from his Rebbe, he's taking away the honor that he's really supposed to be giving to
Yeah.
somebody bigger than him. The Rabbi Omer something similar. It's a Talmud Shalom Gila Ra Umor. It's a Talmud Chacham also that didn't reach the level of supposed to be the paskin for others, and he does. Hara means to be more hara, to teach Torah, to teach. So he's not
Hora
yet.
is also like a posek.
The word posik also, yeah, the hara means to teach. But teaching not as a teacher, teaching what to do. You realize what we call a posting. What we call a posting. No, he gave up psak posting. The Gemara is going to say, I would have thought it means the level of knowledge. How smart is he? The Gemara is going to say something else about what a gil we have to wait for days, a couple of lines, and the Gemara brings down a drasha to tell you the severity of somebody who paskins without yet being
Authorized.
Whatever the authorized means.
Knowledgeable.
Authorized means he gil oro. Here's the pasuk. Ki rabim. Maybe a pasuk out of it. Ki rabim chalalim mipila. V'atzumim kol avugel. The pasuk is talking about an isha that's mazana, a harlot. So she makes many people kill. She kills many people. The person who's mazana, the zona, kills many people. Rabim chalalim mipila. She has make fall, many slain. All those that she murdered are very many. That's Pashup Shah. But the more says it's talking about a Talmud Chacham, and it says there are two kinds of Talmud Chacham. One is Rabbim Chalalim Mipila, one is Asumim Kolav. What's that? Rabbim Chalalim Mipila is the Talmud Chacham Shalom Gila Mora. That's the same case we're talking about. Somebody who is premature, that he's not supposed to pre-paskening yet, and he does. That's called Rabbim Chalalim Mipila. That because of his wisdom, he knows enough that he can make problems. That he's paskening and he shouldn't be paskening. That's what we need to ready for ourselves. The rest of the pasuk is a bonus that it tells us.
What did you say?
Many. There are many.
Oh, many
Like it says,
that get killed?
there are many that are killed by her.
But they're killed by her.
And what's that? The Talmud Chacham she'gil on the contrary, a person who is authorized, he is competent, that he should paskin and he doesn't. That's also very problematic. Everybody has to know his place. Those people that are not competent should not. Those people that are competent should. If someone's competent and he doesn't, it's also a problem. That's a bonus we needed the first part.
Yeah.
That's called the premature. Who's premature? The one who's not a gil ra and he is mora. And I put another pasuk about Rashi has a little drash over here. Rashi that he says ipila is lashon of nefel, like a premature. And atzumim he says lashon that he closes means that he closes his mouth. He's not supposed to be closing his mouth. He's supposed to open his mouth. He already knows how to paskin. So that's Rashi puts it into the words. Here he says,
why is Atsumim closed?
The word otzim meina. Rashi means a pasuk where the word otzim means to close.
Okay.
Yeshaya 33.
Okay.
So that's not, I don't see it in the Gemara, but Rashi puts it into the words
Very nice.
that you have lashon nefel, and here you have a lashon otzim. Okay. And the Gemara says, what does it mean that he's a gila or he's not a gila or what does all that mean? So I would have thought that's simple. It means that if he's smart, if he's competent enough. But the Gemara says no, it has to do with the age. I wouldn't have thought so. Rashi says it has to do with
the age to be premature.
Yes, that you're not supposed to paskin until age 40. So of course he has to be competent. Like that goes without saying he has to be competent. But even if he's competent, it seems that he shouldn't paskin until the age 40. But they shouldn't paskin before age 40. Rabbi did paskin, and he was not age 40 because he only lived until 40. So he paskin before that. The answer is b'shavin. So Rashi, so let's say Tosfos says pshat, which seems to be the simple of pshat. Pshat means that if they're equal, don't pass two Talmidei Chachamim in the city. Don't pass b'shavin. The problem is when they are equal. If they're equal, somebody else who's 40 and you're not 40, so leave it for him. But if there's nobody else as big as you, you're bigger than everybody. So then passing before 40 also. Rabbi was the biggest. Rabbi in his city was the biggest. So that's why he passed before he was 40.
Yeah, but why does it say Rabbi Ori Shavin?
No, but Rabbi Ori question mark. Here's a question mark. After the word Ori is a question mark.
And he paskined.
That's the concept.
Mark.
The answer is b'shavin. B'shavin doesn't mean he did it b'shavin. He did it without shavin. The problem is when it's b'shavin.
The problem is when it's b'shavin.
Rashi learns differently, but that's the whole Pashup Shah like Tosfos, that when shavin is the problem, and Rabba was not shavin, and that's why he was the biggest one. No one was equal to him.
We pass like that, so they shouldn't be passing.
He shouldn't pass him before 40 unless there's nobody bigger than him.
We pass like that.
I think so. The more could have asked Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah that he was 18 and he became the Nasi. There was nobody as big as him. That's why who was fit for the job. That's what the Gemara is saying. That's only a problem if there's somebody else who's competent. If it sounds like a little bit once you're 40, then even though it's both of them are 40, so then by shoving, both of them are equal. So then there's no mila that somebody else should do it. You could take it position as much as he could. But if you're less than 40, that's a factor that you should take into consideration. He's 40 and I'm less than 40. So don't take the position if somebody else can.
Is this similar to the idea of not learning Kabbalah until you're 40?
This has a source and that doesn't have a source. Here's the Gemara. This is the Gemara where it says 40 in order to paskin, but the thing about
The
Kabbalah
first
doesn't.
meaning, this
This is the thought. Here's the Gemara. But by Kabbalah doesn't have such a source.
is just a Kabbalah.
There are those that say so, and there are those that don't say so.
Rav Scheinberger,
Says
before I was 40, he said, you should come to my class. I said, I heard it's dangerous. He said, it's dangerous not to learn.
Oh.
I didn't go.
You said this before 40 or yes?
Before 40, when I first came to Israel.
Wow.
Read with that also.
Or maybe I was already there. He disagreed. Yeah, he said it's dangerous not to learn Kabbalah.
Even before 40.
Okay, I don't. I'm not sure.
Tanu Rabbanan. Now, Marcus Prushim, we're going on listening. The Mishnah said, Pasat Sotah, Rosh Avrohom, Isha Prushim, Marcus Prushim. What's Marcus Prushim? So again, Polish means someone, an ascetic, someone who's abstains. But Marcus Prushim, what does that mean? So the Gemara is going to say again that it means that it's conspicuous that he's making it, that he's abstains. He makes it very conspicuous.
I'm sorry, where did we have Makos Prushim?
In the Mishnah. You go back to the Mishnah, couple of
It's one of
pages.
the things, okay.
And after end, there's
How do
the
we define it there? We
the
didn't-
Rashi said, look in the Gemara, and he's going to tell us now that it means somebody.
Hitting Prushim. What's
The
that?
wounds of the power, the wounds of the ascetic,
Okay.
that he bumps into things.
The wounds?
He bumps into things because he's not looking where he's going.
Oh, like you said, the bumping into the pole.
Because,
Yeah.
and that means that he's Polish, but he's making himself conspicuous. You have to beware of people who make themselves conspicuously tzaddikim. You have to beware of them. If they make themselves conspicuous, you have to be kosher that it's not kosher.
I was just asking about those ladies and we're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
black.
I meant to say it without saying it. That's not much the case. That's the Isha Pusha. But there's not individuals over there. It's a whole tzibur, and they're all kosher.
Because it's also
Because
not
they're
sneeze, would you say?
I say Sultan Astis, it draws attention more than it's very, the whole thing is not Jewish. It's not Jewish at all. It's not from, it's not Jewish.
Okay.
I would say it's a humble opinion, but I think it's everybody's opinion, so it's not so humble. Everybody thinks so. It's disgusting.
I said it doesn't even fit this tomorrow.
It's out of way. But it's nothing from about it. It's not Torah source. They're not Torah people.
Well, my wife has some peripheral dealings with one, and I think the woman is off mentally.
They're off. If they're not off mentally, so then they're off religiously.
Yeah, no, but this one's off mentally.
Yeah. It's a terrible thing when they make it. People think as if it's a frumkeit and they're the top. They're not the top. It's not the top.
Okay.
There are 7 ascetics, we would say, abstinence.
7 aesthetics, yeah.
So they first listed out, then they explain each one. Porish Shichmi, without any explanation first. Porish Shichmi, Porish Nikvi, Porish Kuzoi, Porish Meduftia, Porish Machabasi Vasena, Porish Miyava, Porish Miyeva. They have 7. We don't know what they mean. Not everyone's going to explain. We'll do one at a time.
Oh, shit.
Porish Shichmi, the Shechemite Porish. What's Shechemite? It's also Ma'aser Shem. Like in Shem, what do they do in Shem? They do the Bismillah. So very Polish. But what do they do it for? Shem did it because he wanted dinner. The people did it because they wanted money. They wanted to get the Alalanu Haim, make Nehem, Ubem Tom, Alalanu Haim. So they did it for an ulterior motive. So they acted like a Polish, but really they have their own interest in mind.
The Polish raping, what was the Polish?
Polish means they did a bris milah. They
did the bris milah.
But they were like Shem. What they do it for? They did it because he wanted to marry Dina, they did it because they wanted to have money. They wanted to get their business.
Okay.
So ulterior motives for money, for private. Polish nikvi. What's that? That he bumps his feet. Why does he bump his feet? Because he makes like he's not looking in front of him. Rashi says because he makes himself very humble. There are 2 points Rashi is going to say. One is that he makes himself humble. One is that makes himself as if he's not looking out of his dalaramas. So mankiv is raglov, and he bumps his feet because he makes himself very humble and he doesn't see where he's going. So again, it's conspicuously humble. Conspicuously humble is not so humble. The third one is pirush kuzoi. What's kuzoi mean? Like makis dam, like to let blood. He bumps into the walls again because he's not looking. Doesn't see where he bumps into the pole because he's making himself like he doesn't look where he's going. These people also are the ones who the men who make themselves conspicuously not looking out. That's this Gemara.
He gets bruises because he bumped into the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that was because he was being so firm, he didn't want to look at it anymore.
He's making himself conspicuously firm.
Okay.
It's different than Racket Swagmans.
Rashi helps a little bit. The Rashi says the first one is about a nava, this one's about not looking at women. I'm not sure. I guess because Makar, as if to say he puts his head down, That's the honor, and this person is not looking, therefore he bumps into things. The next one is Pirish Meduchia. What's that? The Meduchia is what do you call that? A pistol, a mortar and a pistol, a hammer kind of thing. So Amar Rabba Bashida, the Meshapeki Meduchia, that he's bent over. He's overly bent over. He looks like
The
bent
duchia
over.
is what?
Is the pistol, the hammer?
The pistol, the thing, you mortar and pistol?
Yeah, the mortar is the container, right?
Yeah.
The pistol is the hammer.
So
So
he
it
makes
has
himself,
a bent over like
Pestle.
that.
Pestle,
How is it?
pestle, mortar and pestle.
How do you
spell it,
spell it?
I don't know.
Pestle.
P-E-S-E-L.
or P-I-S-T-L?
Pestle. Without a T? Without a T?
Maybe the T is silent.
Silent. Okay.
Okay, mortar and pestle.
So that was the fourth one, Parish Meduchia. The next one,
What happened? He bent
that he's
himself?
bent over, he bends over
It's because
very,
of the way he looks.
Also,
even if
the
he
wo-
doesn't bump into it.
right. But this I don't know the difference. According to Rashi, the other one also, Mankif Raglov. Maybe over there, Mankif Raglov is the way that, the fact that he bumped his foot, that, people said, he's humble. He didn't see where he's going. Here, the point is that he's bent over. I don't see the real difference. Both of them,
Well, the one that bumped into the wall and bruised himself,
yeah,
he's not looking at the ground. It could be that it looks like he's thinking about a sugya
okay.
with his head up.
Could be. Rashi says the point is, he's saying something that looks like he's spaced out because he's learning.
Yeah.
Rashi says because he wants to make that he's not looking at women. But all the,
Usually when he's not looking at women, we see people looking at the ground. Okay, I don't know.
he's looking at the ground, that's why he bumps into the wall.
Well, if they look at the ground, he stumps his feet.
Could be both. The Gemara is the next one. And I'll do it. So the Gemara stops. That's the title. So the question is, that's great. Oh, you say that's a good thing. That yes, what should I do? What else is my obligation? It means I've done everything already. What have I not done that I should do? And he's also declaring his righteousness, that he does everything. That's also a person you have to watch out for. This is Mavale Olam.
Oh, that I did everything.
Anything else that I haven't done? And the last one, there's 2, 6 and 7, Porish Miyaba, Porish Miyira, which means, as Rashi's going to, the Muslim that it means he's doing it because of Abbas Aslan and Yiras HaOnesh. That there's, of course, Abba Yir is a great thing, but it means Abbas Hashem, Yiras Hashem. Here, it's Abbas Aslan and Yiras HaOnesh. So that's also that he's a big tzaddik, but he's doing it for ulterior motive because he wants reward or because he doesn't want to get a punishment. But now the Gemara says, take out the last 2. The last 2 is not so bad. Abai Rabba told the Tana who said over this brisa, erase. Don't say Parish Rabba, Parish Miyira, that's not bad. The other 5 are bad. These 2 are not bad. Because the Rav said you should learn and do mitzvahs, even Shalom Lishma, because Shalom Lishma will come to bring to Lishma. So it's not the greatest, but it's not bad. A person should even do Shalom Lishma. So Parish Rabba, Parish Miyira, bring it into the list. So I like to ask a kasha, and according to this, you also should take out Parish Shechmi.
I'm sorry. Are we still in the brisa?
We finished the brisa with Parish Rabba, Parish Miyira. Didn't need any explanation. And Abayin Rabba said this is already out of the brisa, and Abayin Rabba said take out the last 2 because it's not bad. Parish Rabba, Parish Miyira is not bad. So I'm asking.
I see. It was in the brisa.
It was a mitzvah. It didn't mean it. It didn't mean it.
Goyim had a mitzvah meal.
The Gemara doesn't say that it's not a bad thing. That's not a good thing. The Gemara said that the ulterior motive was not good, and now the Gemara is saying ulterior motives are okay. So how come if you take out Parish Miyava or Parish Miyava, how come you don't take out Parish Shechmi? Is my kasha good? Parish
Ulterior
Shechmi,
motive.
he did it because Dina. What's his name? Shem did it because he wanted Dina,
and maybe
and people did it because of
yeah.
So,
if he did it lo lishma, maybe come to
and the people
lishma.
over there that they did it for money, they wanted.
Maybe they'd come to.
So
the
the
Jew
Gemara
with
says,
the
so how come the Gemara accepts Parish Miyava, Parish Miyir, but doesn't accept Parish Shechmi? A good kasha?
Shem wasn't a Jew.
The Gemara doesn't say that. The Gemara doesn't say that. The Gemara doesn't say that that's different. So I think this is Parish Mesilas Shon. I think it's places over here.
Oh yeah.
That there's a difference. Over here, Parish Miyava, Parish Miyir means he's doing it for Abbas Aschar and Yiras HaOnesh from Hashem, but he's focused on Hashem. Hashem should give me schar, and Hashem shouldn't give me an onesh. But if a person is focused on people, he's serving people, not serving Hashem. He's doing it because he's going to get money from people. He's going to get cover from people. He's going to get the taiva whatever he's doing is his own cheshbon, he's misusing the mitzvah. That the Gemara doesn't allow. And that's Mamash Mesil Shishon that says that covenant moment is no chlo shalom nivra. There's a question that the Rishonim asked that some places it says the opposite. Here it says shemitoch shalom lishma bal lishma. In other places it says that a person learns shalom lishma no chlo shalom nivra. He shouldn't have been created. No chlo shalom nivra. He should never should have been born in the beginning. And here the Gemara says shalom lishma is good. Shemitoch shalom is not bad. Shemitoch shalom lishma bal lishma. So this is Taishus' answer over here, I think, and the Mesil Shishon says this answer. I think the Gemara also that also. That there's a difference if you're doing it for Hashem's schar nonesh or you're doing it for people's schar nonesh. I think it's Amish Ferish Gemara. There's a big tumult in the Rishonim. Some say the kanter, different twists to answer the kasha. But this seems to be Ferish Gemara. That even though Shalom Lishma Balishma, but that's not for a Parish Shichmi. Person's doing it for his own benefit, for his own interest, but also that's not included in Parish Miyab or Parish Miyab.
So that is bad. That isn't one of the, that isn't the category of one of the bad ones.
Parish Shichmi remains the bad one. It doesn't get excused like a Parish Miyab or Parish Miyab. The one continues. Amar Rav Nachman Yitzchak. The mitamra, megalia. Ve'edina rabba, mispera mehani dechafu gundi. Those that are hidden. Those that are revealed. The great Bezdin should pay back from those who put on a. In our terminology, we use a kapata. Something like that. Those who put on something that a talish a tamid chacham that they don't deserve. Someone who puts on a uniform that's higher above his level, he's going to fool people. So Hashem should pay from him. So the words means so things that are secret means we can't help it. We don't know who's the faker.
Yeah.
Those that are revealed. Some people we are revealed. We know some things, but some things we don't know. But Hashem should pay back from those who are the
Bidina Rabbah.
The great Bezdin.
Yeah.
Should pay back.
Oh, Bidina Rabbah should pay
back from those who cover themselves with a chashava
Gundi.
Rashi says with some kind of a maskasnim betalisos that are not contribution, that they wear some kind of a beggar that shows that they're chashuv and more than they are. So you have to watch out for
Should pay them. Meaning
punish them. We can't because we're this hidden us. We don't know.
I just have a legal clause that if they do as a yachid, they do more. But the whole tzibur does it, so then they're not doing it.
So you're saying if
They're not fooling anyone.
whatever the
They're
case
just doing
is,
it because that's what that tzibur does.
if it's the case is that it's something that symbolizes that he's a Talmud Chacham.
Okay, so today your frock doesn't count.
Because today a frak means just that he went to a certain yeshiva. That doesn't mean anything. And no one thinks it means anything maybe.
Right.
But you have to know who thinks. It means maybe it's only the people,
certain
the
hats
insiders.
also.
The outsiders think that it looks chashuv, no?
I think that is maybe to the chutz.
Okay.
Okay,
so-
they went to a few different yeshivas.
Okay.
But
But that's not-
certain hats also.
Certain hats. Okay, whatever it's going to be. If anything symbolizes that a person is more than he really is, he should watch out. And it says here that it's Hashem should pay back
Hashem
person. It is not a Gemara also, I think about Bavasra. If I'm not sure of the Lashon, B'talish Talmud Chacham, Bein the Talmud Chacham, and Machnisim also in Mechitzas Shalakodesh Baruch Hu. Somebody puts on a garment as if he's a Talmud Chacham and is really not, so they're not going to let him enter into the partition of Hashem, whatever that means, of the Shekhinah, that he's going to be kept out. There's a nice, very nice story. I think I said it before. Beli Chazan, a huge Talmud Chacham, he was the Rosh Yeshiva in Torah B'das, and he wore a long. On the weekday, on Shabbos, he wore short. And they told her everybody else does difference. They on Shabbos put on a long coat. They said, these are my working clothes.
Wow.
I don't work on Shabbos. I don't work on Shabbos. He's a very you have to have it. But for himself, it's I'm Shabbos, I'm my own person. That was
And
a very strong statement.
Purim would be different.
Purim, everyone's saying that. You're just putting on a gorilla's costume. It doesn't have to be you. I'm sure you put on something that you're not.
There you're not.
That's okay.
Okay.
You are,
Uh,
or maybe that you are.
so that's what your inner soul really wants.
Amala Yanai Malka Ledivise. Yanai Melech said to his wife. So Yanai Melech wasn't a good king, and at the end he became a tzduki. The question was if he was originally good or not, but he was a tzduki. And he told his wife, when he was dying, Rashi says, Al Tisyori men Prushim, the Prushim are the good ones. The Prushim over there, Prushim and Tzdukim means the Prushim are the one. I think the Agamara comes up with the Porish. It sounds a little bit play on words, but over there, Prushim means the people who separated from the Tzdukim, the Prushim and the Tzdukim. So he said to her, "Don't be scared of the Prushim. Don't be scared from the Tzdukim." So Rashi says that the Prushim were against Yanai. And maybe his wife was scared after Yalen's going to die that they're going to take the Nekama from her. They said, don't worry about them because you don't do anything wrong, so you don't have to worry from them. I have to be worried from them, but you don't have to. And also the Misha ain't on Trushim because they're on my side. That's what Rashi says. I could say a simpler shot maybe that the ones are Trushim Atzadikim, the ones that are not Trushim, they're Rishon, but everybody knows about it. You don't have to worry about them because you know who they are. But who do you have to be scared for? Element that's be scared of the ones who are Savua. Savua literally means
color, right?
color. That means that on the outside they look different than they really are.
Yeah.
They color themselves with bright colors, and really they're very dark colors inside. Shadam with the Trushim, Shemasen that they look like Trushim, really they're not. Those are the dangerous people. Shemasen Kemasi Zimri and Mavakshim Schak Pinchas. So Zimri ben Saul, we know from Parshas Pinchas over there. Asking himself a faker. If Zimri showed like he's a tzaddik, you have to the pshat. Maybe the one needs more explanation, but the first pshat is Zimri is the one who did the znus. Pinchas is the one who killed him because of that, and he wants to do the Ma'aseh Zimri and get schar as if he's a Pinchas. So I'm not sure how it fits into the Savua. You don't see Savua. So what's Savua? Someone says a more Rishi pshat that it's a different Zimri. The Zimri who was one of the Malchei Yisrael over there. More I forgot. And over there was also killing. I forgot the pshat. I think Avrohom Margola says it. I have to look into it. That there's a Zimri over there that also killed. They killed Zimri Horeg Adonov. Zimri Horeg Adonov. Pinchas killed and Zimri killed, but Pinchas killed for noble reason. Zimri killed for a non-noble reason.
What is Zimri for?
I'm saying a pshat that's not the Pasha pshat.
Yeah.
Zimri in the Pasha pshat is Zimri ben Solu. That was in Parshas Chukas. Balak Pinchas. That he's the one who's Mizana.
Yeah.
And Pinchas killed him. Someone says a fancy pshat that is referring to Zimri was one of the kings of Yisrael. His name was Zimri.
Oh.
And he killed the Zimri Horeg Adonov. He assassinated the previous king.
Oh.
Okay, that's not the simple pshat. Let's mention it because.
But here it's like the whole parsha that we're in.
Right, no, but here the kasha is he's not a faker. Zimri was a faker. The Zimri showed that he's a tzaddik on the outside.
Yeah. No, we're talking to somebody that would do something like Zimri and expect the reward.
Yeah, but so who's that? That's not a faker. It's not our sugya. Our sugya is talking about a faker, that he's a Russia, but on the outside he looks like a tzaddik. What does that have to do with Zimri and Pinchas? A person who does a Ma'aseh Zimri and he wants, if Zimri will be a faker, it'll be a nice example. But Zimri wasn't a faker. He was Mizana,
No,
outright.
the Ma'aseh, they're doing the Ma'aseh Zimri, but they're doing it as a fake.
So so you don't say anything in the marshal of Zimri. You could have said any big Mizana. And what Pinchas who wants this Russia, this faker, he thinks he's going to get Chaka Pinchas also. When he comes to Shemayim, he thinks also this faker. They didn't expect schar from Hashem.
Well, like that woman.
She didn't expect schar from Hashem. I don't think so. She knew that.
She just wanted praise from the neighborhood.
She had power, money, cover, whatever she had. Okay, just to finish off, if you have a couple of minutes, not the whole Mishnah, that's a little bit. We're in the middle of the Mishnah. The printer, I think, messed it up over here because the Mishnah before spoke about that schus Torah. That's schus. We're in the middle of the schus Torah. And we got off the subject because it says over there, a person should teach his daughter Torah. They should know schus Torah. So, but we're in the middle of the sugya. The Navai says schus Torah. We only had one Mishnah. We had two daf. Now we forgot that we're in the middle of the Mishnah. The Tanakhama says that schus could postpone the punishment of the sotah. The Gemara spoke about which schus, the whole sugya, two daf of sugya. But now the Mishnah continues. It's not nice to separate the Mishnahs. Rabbi Shimon Omer ain't schus Torah. No, he argues the whole thing. That schus is not going to postpone the punishment. And he says, I'll tell you why. If you're going to say that it does, that the person's merits could postpone the punishment, that is going to dampen the effect of the water before the women are supposed to drink, because they're not going to be scared to drink. They'll say, maybe I have schuyot. I do a lot of mitzvahs, Torah, yeshita, whatever you hold. So she's not going to be scared to drink. We want the woman should be scared to drink, that if they're really guilty, that they shouldn't drink. But you're going to take down the effect of the fear of the water because you say that schus helps that you shouldn't get punished. And also, it's going to be a bad name for those who drank and came out without being punished. So she says, I'm innocent. And they're going to say, maybe not innocent, maybe you just have schuyot. saying that maybe they're guilty and they really won't on it, but that is chus. So Shimon says it can't be that Hashem allows for chus to protect the zona. If she's a zona, she's going to die no matter how many spheres she has. If she deserves chus, she'll get it all in but she's not going to get a postponement of her punishment. Rebbe seems to be a third opinion. What? Compromise, something in between. There is some kind of schus that can be told, but not like Tanakama said. It says that if she's innocent, so then she's going to even give birth and she'll get even better than she was before. She's not going to get better, but she's not going to die. She's going to, what's the word? Degenerate.
Degenerate, yeah.
That's the word they use today, nivun. So she's going to degenerate. She starts degenerating right away, but she's not going to die. The Sophie Mesa Bosa Misa at the end, she's eventually, as much as it's told, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 3 months, whatever it is, but at the end she's going to die the way she would have died right away. It just postpones the punishment, but she's going to slowly degenerate, and then she's going to get the punishment that was coming. Tanakama seems to argue, we'll stop over here for today. Now it's a new Mishnah, but we'll stop here for today. And the Tanakama seems to argue and says that Skos is Tola more than Rebbe, or else there's no three shittas. The Tanakama says Skos is Tola, Rebbe Shimon says Skos is not Tola, Rebbe says some kind of compromise that is Tola, but she degenerates and dies. So what does Tanakama hold? So we had more before that spoke about the possibilities that maybe he's not Misnavna Vahol Lefes, that she doesn't degenerate. Who is that tomorrow?
Which one are you talking about? Tanakama?
Tanakama.
Tanakama said that they're Tola, right?
Yeah, does that mean that absolutely? Well, what does he hold?
Does it mean that she doesn't degenerate?
She doesn't. So that's not Vav.
She has a sluice, and when the sluice is used up, then she flows up.
So here, the Gemara on the Vav said Machlokas before. Rav Sheshes Sava being the Rebbe, being the Rabbanan, he misnavna. Rav Yosef Sava, the Rebbe have a misnavna, the Rabbanan have a misnavna. According to the Rabbanan, does she degenerate? It seems that according to Tanakama, she's not going to die that death. She'll eventually die, of course, as much as it's told her 1 year, 3 years, then she'll die. She might die a natural death. According to Tanakama, she might die a natural death, not the death of the Safsabitna Yafla Yireka. That it seems that everybody agrees that Tanakama holds she's not going to die Bosa Misa. Rebbe says that it postpones, but then she's going to die Bosa Misa. So it could be takes away the complaint that Rav Shimon said that they're not going to know who's really innocent. But Tanakama seems to hold that she's not going to die from that death. But does she degenerate during the 3-year trial? The Rebbe says she is misnafna. It's not a question. Rebbe says misnafna. That's here, right here. Rebbe says misnafna. This question is Tanakama. The first time that says that's Tola, does he hold that she then degenerates or not? That's Machlokas Amoram and Vav Manalo.
On which
that's not Vav. But you go back to that Vav, that's fixed.
We're going way back.
Way back, we learned about
Tanakama
means 2 pages ago, where it says that Skos Tola. If the printer messed us up, the printer separated the Mishnahs. Really, it should go together.
That's Reb Shimon's already halfway through the
He's in the middle of the Mishnah. Reb Shimon's in the middle of the Mishnah. They separated him. It should have been.
Right.
Where's the Mishnah about Skos Tola?
I see yours here. No.
Skos Tola is not Yud
ends Skos Tola.
No, sorry, not Yud Zayin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to Daf on Daf Chav, the Mishnah said that Skos is Tola, and then on Daf Chav Beis Amud Beis, the Mishnah continues. So there are 3 shittas. Daf Chav Amud says Skos is Tola. That's Tanakama. And Beis Amud Beis, Rav Shimon says it's not Tola. Rabbi says that it's Misnavna. She degenerates, and then eventually she's going to die from that Misa. And the question is, what does Tanakama hold? Tanakama hold that Skos is Tola, period. So it doesn't mean that she's not going to die. It says it's only she's going to die eventually, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but she's going to die. But what is the Tanakama holds? She's not going to die in that Misa of Safsabitna. That seems to be clear. And the question is, she Misnavna according to Tanakama? Machlokes of Yosef and Rav Sheshes and Avrohom.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.